Hard Rockology Show, Chris and Matt with you. Hipnostic is the band. The song is called Ain't No Sunshine. And from the band, vocalist, guitarist, Blake Hastings. Blake, welcome to the Hard Rockology Show.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so you guys got a new song out. It's a cover song, actually, of the Billy Withers song from 1971, Ain't No Sunshine. I'm always kind of interested in how a band decides what song they're going to cover, if any at all, and why did you guys pick this one?
Well, it actually, great point there. I mean, we're not really a band that really was big in doing covers, and I mean, it's not one of those things that we ever found any type of thing that fit us right. But I had always loved this song through all the years of growing up. I mean, it's always been a classic. Most people just love the Bill Withers tune. I just always loved kind of the lyrical, dark vibe of it. Kind of, about losing something crumbling away or whatever. And so last year kind of was moved to try to maybe kind of tweak around with it a little bit. And I had some musical arrangements and guitar riff stuff that kind of had a very dark feel to it. And started playing with the arrangement a little bit and was working on it with the band and kind of started to incorporate some of the lyrical idea. Our version is very unique and different. It's definitely a very unique heavy rock version of the classic Bill Withers tune. There's really, from a musical point, there's not much that the two cross over together with. It's more of the lyrical and the melody at points that I borrowed from. And that's what made it unique was the one reason we really never were big into covers is because, like a song with Bill Withers and that classic is so great. What are you going to do? And everybody that does that song always does it pretty much with the same arrangement, and sure, I mean it sounds great, but I mean nothing can beat the original. So I thought,
well, the original's the original, right?
Yeah.
So if you're gonna do a cover song, you might as well like you guys hypnostic it up a little bit, made it a little bit heavier, and like you just said, you kept the lyrics the same and the melody a little bit, but overall, it's a totally different song.
Absolutely, and that's kind of what has been really striking such a positive chord with people. Some people, a lot of feedback we've been getting is people have been saying, gosh, I love the original, but man, I really like this modern, 21st century version of this song now. So we've been getting great feedback on that, and people like the fact that we kind of took it and did it, in the style of what Hypnostic's music is real heavy and dark feeling music. So I think that was what we felt moved most by, was just kind of putting our stamp on it and really just making it our own. And that's actually what this song turned out to be. It's really our own song in bringing in the great lyrical and melodies of Bill Withers. So it's been a wonderful, amount of positive feedback that's been coming back.
So you guys have had some time between like the Dissolve Me record, which came out in the mid-2000s, I believe, and until this song now. Now, are you guys thinking about doing a whole album, or maybe just like a lot of bands are doing nowadays, release a single here, release a single maybe a couple months down the road, and keep everybody still interested in what's going on with the band?
Yeah, I know. Since we released the first record, Dissolve Me, and it has been a while, and, we're definitely, myself and definitely a tad on the perfectionist side of things, so it tends to elongate some of the process. But we definitely wanted to get this single out there. We have been playing it at some of our shows. People are just really getting, really getting enthused about it. They're getting positive feedback. So we thought, and nowadays, since we released the first record, things have changed so drastically in the whole music industry. And you're right, Chris, singles, it's a question. Do you release just singles? Because the music environment as it is, look at iTunes and all and those downloading sites, it has become a big singles world. So to answer your question, we wanted to get the song out there to kind of start a new chapter, let people know what we're doing now, the maturity of the band in so many ways, from a sonic level, from performance level, from songwriting level. Ain't No Sunshine kind of resets the bar for where Hypnostic is right now. And moving forward, virtually about 80% of the next record is done. And then we were just, Rob and myself will be going in to do all the vocals for the record. We've got including, we've got 13 songs total, including Ain't No Sunshine. So there is going to be a full record that's going to come out. But the idea is there probably will be another single that'll be released third quarter this year. So kind of, I know you guys are like this too. You love listening to records. You invest your time in a band you like. I'm not a big singles guy. All the bands that I listen to today, whether it be a Seeger, Shinedown, Chevelle, it goes back to Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, or even Sabbath, going back even further, which is from all of our roots. Like I say, I still love the albums. So I do buy their album and listen to all 10, 12 songs, but we still need to be aware of where the market is now. So in a long way, that answers your question. Yes, we're gonna release a couple singles, and then the record will probably come out later this year.
I think everything comes full circle. Back in the early '70s, when this original song came out, it was a single, and a lot of bands were releasing singles. And if there was a demand for more from that band, they would release a full-length album. I mean, maybe it is coming full circle, and it's going back to the way it was, like you said, with iTunes and stuff. People don't want to buy the whole album; they'll just buy a song here, a song there. And if it's a single, well, it's got to be pretty good, as opposed to investing in a full-length album, and maybe there's going to be 5 or 6 songs on there that aren't really that good, and I just spent my money on a whole album that I don't really care for.
Yeah, well, how do you guys feel about that? I mean, that's a good question. You guys are lovers of hard rock music. I mean, do you just entrench yourself in singles, or do you enjoy a full album from your favorite band?
To me, and I'm sure Matt will say the same thing in a minute, is I don't really care. I don't care. I rather have a band personally release like a 4-song EP so I can really get familiar with those songs, as opposed to being bombarded with 13 tracks. I'm not a big fan of 13 tracks on a record. I kind of like 9 or 10, because this way I can kind of digest it a little bit better. But that's just my opinion, and I don't have a problem with bands releasing a single here and there, or even like a 4-song EP. What about you, Matt?
I mean, if you're going to ask me what I'm thinking, especially, no offense, but if it's been years before or years since the last album, I'm looking pretty much for an album to be released. And I understand what you're doing on your end. It's because if you listen to this new track you just released, the cover song, it does sound, I mean, there's definitely some growth between the last album you guys released and where you guys are right now. So I see what you're doing. And basically you're resetting everything. So in a way, I personally like albums. I like EPs, because usually if I like one song, I want to hear another song. And for me, it's frustrating, especially if a band releases one track and then there's nothing for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months, and I'm like going, well, that's great. And by the time something else comes out, I may have already moved on. As much as I hate to say that, but that's just the way I feel about it. But I understand how the market is right now. You want to hear music, but at the same time, you don't want to rush something out there if it's not ready. So I'm more in line, at least put out an EP. So if you got it, most of the album's not done yet, you know what? I would just say go ahead and put an EP out, get some tracks out there.
That's a great, both of you guys bring that up, because that has been discussions that we've been having within the band. And
so you got kind of you kind of got 2 different answers.
Yeah, no, but actually it's funny you brought that up. We didn't even touch on that, but actually we had thought about maybe putting a 4, 6 song, EP out, and so it's like, like I said, we're about 85% through it, and then after Rob and I complete the tracks. And we might even just do, like you said, and all this is kind of, as we go through the journey here and feel it out. But we might even just finish 4, 5, or 6 tracks, and then maybe put those out, some of the best stuff. It is interesting. Yeah, I do agree with you, Chris. Some of the albums now that come out have a lot of different variations that go to Best Buy or Walmart or Amazon, and they have all these additional tracks. And if you're a fan, you're trying to collect up these tracks, and you're going, and then the listening span, like you said, 9, 10 songs. Like I said, yeah, that might be a much better number to go with them at some of these longer things.
Well, let me ask you. I'm going to go ahead and ask you this question: how long have you been working on the material for this new album?
Well, this material in this has probably been written about, I would probably say maybe 4 or 5 years ago. It's some of it, and then it's been kind of, as new stuff is filtered in. So we've been working on it off and on in the last 4 or 5 years, I guess. doing our perfectionist thing to it. So
Well,
it has been
the way I would approach this then is because you're probably going to get a mixture of different types of sounds. Some of it being where your mind was and where you were at 4 or 5 years ago, and then some of the newer stuff is where you're at now. I mean,
yes.
if I was on your end, I would just go ahead and release some of the older stuff. That way, it's kind of like, and Skid Row's been doing this now.
Yeah, they
They've
did
been,
the chapter 1, 2, 3 with
well,
the
chapter three's not out yet.
not yet, but
But you sit there and you release it. You could go ahead and, in my opinion, what I would do if I was you guys, I would release some of the older stuff that you worked on that's clearly from a different time period that you guys were focusing on, and just move it up there. That way, it's kind of, if you want to sit there and say, it could be the Hipnostic book, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, and it's kind of like evolves. I mean, that's just the approach I would do, because you're having some great response from the cover song you just released, and I think that's getting the ball rolling. I think you want to capture that. If you could get
you got to
something
keep
else,
the momentum going.
yeah, you got to put something else out
Yeah,
there,
great
and
point.
that's the way I would look at it, because you could go ahead and release 3 tracks, a 3-track EP, maybe even a 4-track EP, get it out there on Amazon, get it out there on iTunes, and people are going to be going, you know what, this is enough to hold us over until the next chapter comes out, and that's the way I'm looking at it. So if you're asking me what I would do, that's the direction I'd go in.
Well, it's like I said, that hey, always totally open to your guys' observations on it, because it has been a journey for us. Because as we've been, like I said, I'm definitely a perfectionist from songwriting and production and mixing, because I produce and mix all the music too. I've always been fascinated into mixing the stuff and producing it. So, yes, I guess at times it can be kind of Tom Schultz. The Tom Schultz approach at times, and sometimes that's a double-edged sword. But it has been a journey as we've been going through this, and I think kind of touching upon what you said there, Matt, is that the landscape has changed so much since we went through the last 10 years that we are still trying to find our footing. We put the single out. Now it's getting great response. Now we're kind of going, hey, it's really turning out more than we thought. People are really engaging in it. Then maybe now we change our game plan a little bit, because we don't want to take that gap, like you said. So that's I'm a full agreement that an EP probably might be the best way to do it.
Well, you also got to look at it like, hey, we don't know if we're going to get good response or not. If we don't put it out, we'll never know. You might as well put it out, see what happens, and then go with another 4 songs from there. But you keep on bringing up new chapters. So who do we have in the band now that wasn't in the band like 10 years ago? Who do we have in the band now?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, actually, my longtime musical partner that played back in the days of Lixaray, back in the day, the early '90s. We have Rob Swanson on bass and vocals, and he took a little hiatus for a while, but it's just wonderful to have him back, and him and I working together in Hipnostic. He's been back in Hipnostic for about close to 4 years now, and then very happy to announce we have a new family member handling the drums, and his name is Lawrence Scott. So we've always been a powerful 3-piece. So now we've along with the new chapter and the new look and the new website and the new single, like I said, Rob and I are very glad to have our new drummer Lawrence Scott in the band. So it's the 3 of us making a lot of pounding out and making some loud and heavy sounds.
3-piece band, Matt. What do you think? Lots of noise on stage. How does that work, playing the songs live compared to doing them in the studio?
Well, one of the things that's been, that we accomplish, that we do here many times at the show is that, the way we write the material, tuned it, down-tuned in the music and stuff a little bit, and Rob and I kind of work on getting our tones together and our frequency ranges and all that, all this techie stuff. But basically, we often get a positive comments from people who see the band live. Wow, you guys sound like a 4 or 5-piece band. And I think the key of that is just the way we try to write the material, and especially a lot of people, like say, when I go into a solo, it doesn't appear to totally drop out. The detail that Rob puts into his bass tones and the way he plays it and the way we write the song. So 3-piece has always been something I've been really inspired and really enjoyed doing, other than the years of having a lead singer. But basically, like I say, a lot of bands we had fronted David Lee Ross or, bands like that. And it was always basically musically a 3-piece. So really, it's a challenge, But I really feel confident that we pull it off live, very well.
So speaking of three-piece bands, I mean, what are some of your favorites, real quick?
Well, it's funny. I don't know if you noticed, and I kind of tripped out on this. I'm sure we all watch that metal show occasionally or know about it. But I think this week's guest was Mark Farner from Grand Funk, and I was thinking, I'm going like, oh, that's really cool. I mean, here's a band, Grand Funk, that actually was. Most people think of Grand Funk as kind of a pop band, Locomotion, some kind of wonderful. But really, if you get into the early 69, 70, 71 records, I mean, Grand Funk was really a heavy rock, hard rock band. And so I think back when I was kind of growing up and was turned on to bands like Grand Funk, and then obviously got into more through Rush and stuff like that. But, like even Sabbath and then also Robin Trower was a huge inspiration. I mean, so trios and three pieces has always been something that I've been really comfortable with. The shoes fit well. As a guitar player, I love the fact of having that freedom. And musically, it just kind of adds certain freedom in a three-piece, and you got to step up because there's not really anybody backing you up. So you got to really, you got to raise your game.
It's all on you live.
Yeah, what's that?
It's all on you live, and the rest of the guys in the band. There's nobody else. There's nobody else playing another guitar. It's all on you. So what do you guys got some tour dates? Are you playing anywhere coming up? I know the band's based in Southern California, so if you don't live in Southern California, are you going to be going out of Southern California to play any shows, or pretty much people are going to have to come to Southern California to see you guys?
No, actually, we've been in talks right now. We definitely are going to be doing some West Coast things. Like I said, we just came off a couple great shows at the House of Blues. We got a great opportunity to open for Flyleaf. It was a packed house, so it's amazing how it put us in front of a lot of different people that weren't aware of the music, and we got a great response off of that. Played a House of Blues before that. So we're already in talks with doing stuff in San Diego and Vegas, and then up north in Frisco, San Jose. So there were definitely, like I said, as far as a full states tour, sure hoping that maybe will happen. Maybe Ain't No Sunshine will bring it to a new level to where we can do something like that. So we're open for that, but primarily right now, as far as any dates, we've got a couple pending possibility dates that we're working on right now at local stuff, possibly back at the House of Blues. But right now, like I said, we've been focusing on a single and working on recording a record and getting that moving.
Okay, so people can find out about Hipnostic. Where you got your own webpage, Facebook, Twitter.
Yeah, so they can check us out at www.hipnostic.com. Real simple. We just got the brand new website. Just got a lot of the new content on the band and what's going on recently with press and radio and stuff like that we've been doing. And then of course it's Hipnostic on Facebook. It's on Reverb Nation, and then Twitter. Twitter is Hipnostic_band. So it's Hipnostic_band on Twitter. So, and then Instagram. I think it's just on Instagram. So I guess
pretty much everywhere.
The social media, that's a whole other topic, but that's a lot of work, but we're trying to, like you said, we're really, just getting ourselves out there and spreading the word on the new single, so it's been very exciting.
All right, Blake, well, I want to thank you for being part of the Hard Rockology show, and as we do with our guests all the time here, we always have them introduce a song going out of the segment. So take it away, Blake.
All right, thank you, Chris and Matt. Yeah, you just listened to our new single, Ain't No Sunshine, and we're going to go back, take a visit back to the past off the first record, the first Hipnostic record, Dissolve Me, and this song is Ritual, which was a song that was featured in the Dead Matter movie, and we got a lot of great other things that we did. We were on the Fox Sportsnet show that played the song also. So, like I said, let's go back a little bit and see where it just started with our single called Ritual off the Dissolve Me record.
you'll find it's underneath for